The battle is about to commence.
Welcome to a 1v1 on Road to Kharkov. This is going to be Queen Ratchet 123 versus Mo-Larr. Mo-Larr is going to be playing as Overcommando West in the south base. Queen Ratchet playing as US forces in the north base. And we're going to see a rear echelon start from Queen Ratchet for the extra capping power. Something I would definitely recommend myself. I don't know what Mo-Larr is doing with his Storm Pioneers here at the beginning. That was a weird little move he just did, but okay, his Storm Pioneers are now making their way out to the strategic point. And Queen Ratchet squads are separating out to the fuel point and of course the strategic point over here on the left. And then following up with a squad of riflemen. Second squad of riflemen cooking now. We do have a Volksgrenadier squad from Mo-Larr, and now he is purchasing a Kuba wagon, so he's probably going to be making a pretty aggressive push, judging by the look of things, for the American cutoff. But it looks like there's not going to be an engagement for a while, at least not until the Kuba wagon spawns, which is typical of this map, given its long, narrow shape. Although these Storm Pioneers are about to engage. The rear echelon troops over here. Actually, the Volksgrenadiers are going to spot them first. Kuba wagon has hit the field. It's on its way forward. Should encounter those rear echelon troops relatively soon. And he's bringing it around the flank, so not going straight for the cutoff, but instead going to be supporting the Storm Pioneers here on the right side where the munitions point is. Volksgrenadiers taking up a position behind the green cover. Riflemen also taking a position behind some cover. The rear echelon troops get caught a little bit out of position by the Kuba wagon. They do get suppressed, but they also manage to round the corner and get into cover. These riflemen, however, are running straight into it. Oh no! That was rally point, I think. He wasn't quite paying attention to that. Those riflemen were forced to make a quick retreat. And the Volksgrenadiers are going to take the American cutoff, but Queen Ratchet is going to take his opponent's cutoff as well. Of course, no attempt has even been made by the Overcommando player to take these points down here in the south, so neither player has much of a fuel income right now. Mo-Larr having 8 and Queen Ratchet having 7, so it's going to be a very low fuel early game, judging by the look of things so far. Riflemen on the flank get encountered by some Volksgrenadiers in green cover. There's also many squads up here threatening to circle back around. Queen Ratchet draws the Kuba wagon fire with some rear echelon troops trying to pull off a flank with those riflemen. Kuba wagon is on a road and the riflemen are in red cover. They do circle around behind the shack, but they're going to get caught by these Storm Pioneers if they continue. Heavy damage being inflicted on those riflemen. They take up a position in the shack, but it's not going to work. They're going to have to make a retreat. Should be able to get away though. Meanwhile, down here, rear echelon's engaging some Volksgrenadiers at close range. It's not working very well. These riflemen were also forced to retreat. So all of the American players' offensives appear to have failed. And the north cutoff will remain in Axis hands. Not sure they're going to get away. Nope. Not sure they're going to get away either. Nope. Ouch. This is not good for the American player. 2 full squads of rear echelon troops down, leaving him with none left. Only standard riflemen. He has picked airborne commander. Has 1 command point, so he may be thinking about bringing in some pathfinders to help him in longer range engagements. Although a lot of these engagements are happening at short range, and he's losing to that Storm Pioneer squad with Kuba wagon support. The Storm Pioneers are wounded. So 1 coordinated push here for the center could succeed if he pulls it off just right, but a lot of his squads are wounded, so it's going to make things difficult. South resource points are now going to get taken by the Volksgrenadiers down here. We also have Mechanized Regiment headquarters going up, and we also have Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine being selected. So Overcommando West player making a lot of decisions here now that he's secured a bit of a territory advantage. Combat slash manpower advantage wiping 2 rear echelon troop squads, which isn't catastrophic necessarily for the American player, but it is a bit of a setback. That's about 320 manpower, so that is significant, but it's not that bad. He didn't lose any full rifleman squads, so at least he still has combat capability. He's trying to pull off a flank on this Kubelwagen here. He has brought it down to about half. The Overcommando West player is struggling to keep it repaired as the Stern Pioneers are forced to retreat. Kubelwagen is also therefore going to have to make a full retreat so that he doesn't risk losing it, and the Riflemen will be able to retake some territory here in the center. And that Volksgrenadier squad is rather overextended. If you were to swarm it with his all 4 squads, you could probably wipe it on retreat. But it looks like rather than attempt that, he's just going to spread his forces out and retake a little bit of territory. He is moving up with 2 rifleman squads. And those Volksgrenadiers are okay. I thought they were being a little too hesitant to retreat, but he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, over here, riflemen making their way through houses, scouting for threats before capturing the territory. In fact, he's not even going to take that. He's just going to continue moving straight south here towards the cutoff, I think. Or just take up a position in green cover. MG-34 has hit the field and it's making its way forward with Kubelwagen support. Kubelwagen has been repaired. Riflemen get suppressed, but they will be able to take the munitions point. As far as tech decisions, if we take a look at the American player, we will see a lieutenant hitting the field. So, entirely possible that there will be some sort of American light vehicle soon. These riflemen did go for the cutoff, but they're getting focused on by those Stern Pioneers, taking heavy damage. This wounded squad also unlikely to have much luck. Oh, retreat, retreat. No! What are you doing? Full rifle squad goes down for no reason right there. I'm not sure what the American player was thinking. Must have been microwing something else, I guess.
Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
Riflemen being forced to retreat. Lieutenant engaging some Volksgrenadiers here on the munitions point. Volksgrenadiers grabbing the victory point over here. Rear echelon's trying to flank the Kubelwagen, taking it down quite low.
Keep it down. Don't want to attract any patrol. Fallschirmjäger are combat ready.
But it will be able to get away alive, and Fallschirmjäger are pulled out of the that shack just as Queen Ratchet's utility car hits the field. It's an extremely late utility car, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Which means that the opponent's Puma will probably be on the field very soon. Although it has been a very low fuel early game for both players, and the Kubelwagen does go down to the utility car. Although these Fallschirmjäger are doing heavy damage to the lieutenant there in the road. Meanwhile, over here there is an engagement for the victory point by some wounded riflemen against these Volksgrenadiers. They should be able to win that though. And the utility car continues to circle around for targets. And it is engaging those Fallschirmjäger. They are in green cover, but I don't really see any reason for him to continue taking utility car fire. Queen Ratchet popping smoke, not wanting to get Fausted when really I think he could have probably taken a Panzerfaust. It's always good to try to bait munitions expenditures from another Overcommando West player because they need precious munitions for their Panzerschrecks, and Mo-Larr has had very little munitions coming in for pretty much the entire game because of the back and forth on the cutoffs, which means he doesn't even have a Panzerschreck right now. But he does have one upgrading on this squad, and he also has a Puma, just now hit the field, 9-minute 30-second Puma, so quite late. Utility car also quite late, so this game has had a particularly long early game. M20 anti-tank mine going down on the road on the left side, but it looks like the Puma is going to be circling up through the north. It's going to come down to whether or not that utility car can bait the Puma over a mine. He's going to have to be extremely careful though, because he has not upgraded armor skirts due to his own lack of munitions. Oh, the Puma encounters the utility car. which is trying to bait over the mine, but that Panzerschreck nails it. Had no chance. And now they have a bazooka in addition to their Panzerschreck, so that is not good. There is still an M20 anti-tank mine in that vicinity, though. It looks like here in the right side, MG-34 has pushed back some American infantry. Meanwhile, over here, some riflemen also getting chased up. There is an American anti-tank gun on the field, trying to get this into position to fire on the Puma. It looks like that was para-dropped, which is why it's already injured. And the Puma catches that fuel cache, unfortunately, and destroys it. Meanwhile, those riflemen are taking damage from the Puma's coaxial machine gun. Things are not going very well for the American player, having lost his utility car and a fuel cache, and still kind of struggling to maintain control of any resources. He is cut off from the left side munitions point, and he's just lost the right side munitions point, and the cutoff is falling to the Overcommando West player once again. So he's definitely starting to fall behind pretty significantly, and we will see that he has teched Captain rather than Major. He probably doesn't really have confidence that he'll be able to rush out of Sherman to deal with that Puma anytime soon, because he hasn't been able to hold on to the fuel points. So Captain might be the safer decision in this case, but he's going to kind of have to rely on his opponent to make a mistake. Getting that bazooka too close to some bazookas, or getting into the arc of fire of anti-tank gun for a little bit too long, like it's doing right now. Fortunately, the AT gunshots are missing. Lieutenant taking the cutoff point over here, engaging these Stern Pioneers. They do have a minesweeper out, and they're engaging at long range. They're taking heavy damage. They're probably going to be forced to retreat if he doesn't react a little bit sooner. The cutoff gets taken by these Volksgrenadiers here. The captain is moving up to support. Should be able to take out that heavily wounded Volksgrenadier squad with his Thompson. I don't think he's watching. What is he doing? Yeah, he's not paying attention to that Volksgrenadier squad, and it does go down. Meanwhile, over here, the Stern Pioneers attempted to close the distance, but they weren't able to do much. Might go down on retreat. No, looks like they're going to get away just fine. The Lieutenant is charging the Volksgrenadiers across open ground, and he is heavily wounded. I'm not sure he's going to win that engagement. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, Captain is grabbing the cutoff. Riflemen are grabbing this fuel point, and paratroopers are being dropped to take the munitions. Riflemen setting up a flank on the MG-34, and it will be forced to retreat. Nice flank. Rifleman grabbing the cutoff over here. It looks like the lieutenant was forced away by these Volksgrenadiers. And the cutoff here is being taken by the captain. Fallschirmjäger making their way back towards this cutoff. The captain's attempting to take some shots on that Puma. Gets one lucky hit. Fallschirmjäger taking heavy damage from the airborne. Not in red cover, but they're in gray cover. Fallschirmjäger are forced to retreat. More bazooka shots connect with that Puma. He was a little slow to micro it out of danger there, giving a little bit of free veterancy to that captain. There's also our Kenworfer in danger over here, but he gets a lucky snipe on those paratroopers, apparently. AT gun is being moved up. Rear echelon troops grabbing the fuel point here. MG-34 chases off some riflemen.
Grenadiers under attack!
Shrek snipes the paratroopers. They throw a grenade and then retreat. I don't think that retreating was really necessary unless he intended to do it regardless, just to reinforce that squad. There's a bit of a blob making its way down the left side, take the victory point. AT gun grabbing the munitions. These Volksgrenadiers are going to win that engagement against those rear echelon troops, though. MG-34 is moving up to grab the cutoff, and the Fallschirmjäger, fresh squad of Fallschirmjäger, just inflicted some losses on that AT gun. Probably not going to get away with this squad of rear echelon troops either. No. So he's actually going to steal the AT gun with his Fallschirmjäger, which is expensive, probably Probably worth it. I don't know, I probably would have salvaged it personally. His opponent doesn't really have that much fuel, and he went captain tier. So the biggest thing he could possibly be up against is a Stuart in the near future, unless he takes Major. Even if he does, it's going to be a while before he gets Sherman. So salvaging would have put him a little bit closer to his own fuel objectives. Stealing it is going to cost him a lot of manpower just on the reinforcement for the Fallschirmjäger, reinforcing the AT gun itself. Certainly doesn't hurt. Puma has been repaired once again and is engaging some riflemen. Riflemen are firing an anti-tank rifle grenade. They're also focusing down that machine gun, dealing pretty good damage from their green cover position. Although the Puma just destroyed it. So they're going to be forced to retreat now. Meanwhile, riflemen taking the munitions, lieutenant taking the bar fuel. Good map harassment by Queen Ratchet. Paratroopers also get a nice grenade off on those Volksgrenadiers, bringing them down to one model and forcing a retreat. These Fallschirmjäger are harassing the fuel, meanwhile. And the Puma will probably have to pull back for repairs once again, just because it has a damaged engine. And the Stern Pioneers were forced to retreat, so we can't repair in the field. Kenworth are being forced to retreat. Machine gun getting focus fire, taking heavy damage from riflemen on the flank, although there are screening Volksgrenadiers. Queen Ratchet is forced to make a quick retreat there. Oh, but another squad is approaching. Lieutenant on the flank of the machine gun, which still hasn't repositioned. It's just sitting there. Well, so much for that Vet 2 machine gun. Meanwhile, a grenade goes off on the, what was that? That was a Volksgrenadier squad, right? Yeah, I think so. Nice grenade. Lieutenant wipes the machine gun. Airborne wipe what I think might have been a Fallschirmjäger squad? They're wearing those Fallschirmjäger uniforms. I think that was a Fallschirmjäger squad. Ouch, that is a devastating loss then. Very nice grenade. More reinforcement happening here in the base.
Grenadiers back to full strength.
Enemy infantry! Luftwaffe reports. Fallschirmjäger ready for deployment.
Fallschirmjäger getting focused down by riflemen. And they are not able to finish capturing the point. What is he doing? There he goes. Very nearly losing that Fallschirmjäger squad. Just a little bit carelessly there. He's lucky that got away. Major is about to take the fuel point back. Meanwhile, counter-harassment is happening here on the left by MG-34 and Fallschirmjäger. Captain is moving to counter-harass, but I don't think he's going to be able to win any engagements against these squads. These riflemen get pushed back by the Puma and supporting infantry. Major should at least be able to decap that fuel point. As far as the economy, Mo-Larr's up to 137 fuel. He hasn't purchased another tech structure yet. I would assume he's going to go tier 4, start getting some Obersoldaten, but maybe he's just going to be relying entirely on his Fallschirmjäger as a lead infantry, but they're not quite as good as Obersoldaten, really, for their cost. Since you can get them earlier and they have a little bit more utility, they don't really have the same raw firepower that Obersoldaten have, so relying on them too heavily can be expensive. Especially since paratroopers can easily outclass them once they have these light machine gun upgrades. I'm also somewhat surprised that Queen Ratchet hasn't purchased an ambulance yet. 20 minutes into the game, you usually need to have one, or the manpower bleed gets particularly expensive to maintain as well. So both of these players are struggling for manpower. Nice, catches the Schwer Panzer headquarters, constructing with a single squad of riflemen. Unfortunately, he's shooting at the AT gun instead of the Schwer Panzer HQ. Could be getting some free damage off on it, but oh well. He does hit it with an anti-tank rifle grenade, which does little damage, but he could have done a lot more if he had been attacking it with their rifles. Meanwhile, the Puma is engaging some infantry up here, infantry engaging the American infantry as well. The American infantry probably have the advantage here. Volksgrenadiers taking heavy damage, they need to retreat. Full squad goes down for no reason. Those Stern Pioneers are going to go down too if he doesn't retreat immediately. There they go. Just in time. Meanwhile, the American squad that was being shot at by the Schwerpanzer headquarters is going to get away clean. Major taking damage from Fallschirmjäger though. He's blobbing his Major along with his squads, rather than setting up a retreat point next to an ambulance. And the Major does vet up faster that way, but unfortunately Major's veterancy doesn't actually help that much, since Major artillery is pretty bad regardless of Vet 2, and the recon pass isn't really that much better either, so Major veterancy, not all that useful. Sadly, grenade going out on those Volksgrenadiers. He's not watching! Oh! He should have stayed! He should have stayed for the post. He should have stayed to try and wipe that squad after the grenade. Bit of a missed opportunity there. Rifleman grabbing the victory point. Puma has to pull back for repairs once again. Queen Ratchet now has 145 fuel saved up, so his fuel income has been quite good over the last several minutes. He does have his Major out, so he's probably thinking about getting some kind of vehicle. Yep, Jackson cooking. Captain just retreated for some reason. That was weird. The Riflemen do focus down those Fallschirmjäger and force them to retreat. Riflemen over here finish capturing the victory point, although there is now a Lux on the field, so he's going to need to be very careful about overextending his rifle squads. Like this squad right here. Just moving up to try and get an AT grenade off on it so that he can damage its engine and prevent it from chasing him back to base. The engine is successfully damaged and the rifle squad will make it away. I'm not sure why he's following up with this rifleman squad though. There's not really any reason for him to do what he's currently doing. Actually, maybe I spoke too soon. The Jackson is on the field. Just activated prioritized vehicles. Should be able to get in range. There's not actually that much supporting AT here. In fact, I feel like this Lux is in a bit of a catch-22 situation. Either it gets away from the Jackson and hits the mine, or it doesn't get away from the Jackson and the Jackson kills it. I'm not sure what's going to happen, though. That mine's about to hit that mine. Oh, I think that's going to hit that mine. Yep. There it goes. From the mine finally pays off. For all that time, Captain catches the Puma as well, inflicting some pretty good damage from opening shots. Hasn't moved yet. There it goes. Taking heavy damage. He needs to get it out of there before the next bazooka volley. What is he doing? Pop Smoke now speeding away along the road. Jackson unfortunately took a kind of unfortunate route to pursue. There is a Raketmorpher here to support now as well. And the Schwerpanzer headquarters will screen against the captain's advance, taking down to one model before being forced to retreat. And the AT gun and Raketmorpher catch the Jackson. Oh no. Oh no. So much for that. Jackson.
Infantry attacking! Get into march! Protect the flank!
Ooh, paratroopers managed to decrew the Raketmorpher, although then he retreats along this path, taking a bunch of damage. Paratroopers utilizing the suppression fire ability on those Fallschirmjäger. They may wipe this Volksgrenadier squad if they chase. What are they doing? No! That was a perfect opportunity to wipe that squad. It's another squad wipe opportunity missed. That's unfortunate. Lieutenant making his way to the strategic point down here on the left side. Meanwhile, the victory point will get retaken by these riflemen. More infantry making their way down through here. Looks like Queen Ratchet is kind of struggling to know exactly what to do to assault this position because of the Schwerpanzer headquarters.
Ready for action.
We're firing on those riflemen. baiting them into that Schwer Panzer headquarters. The anti-tank rifle grenade does go off. Puma is now going to be at Vet 2 though. Meanwhile, here on the left side, Rifleman and Major engaging a machine gun. The Major has taken the cutoff, and the machine gun will be forced to retreat. Lieutenant is making his way down the left side as well, though he needs to retake this strategic point here in the north. Puma getting repaired. AT gun also getting reinforced here. Major has sprint now that he's Vet 3. Helps him harass the map, although if he gets caught by even like one LMG burst by some ogres or Fallschirmjäger or something, he's gonna die pretty much instantly. Airborne engaging Fallschirmjäger here in the south. They do have a green cover position behind the destroyed looks, although they may get overwhelmed by Obersoldaten here. They don't have any upgrades. Grenade going out. Oh, that wasn't actually as bad as it could have been, but their cover's been destroyed, and their Obersoldaten and Fallschirmjäger in their retreat path. The cooked grenade doesn't connect. Taking heavy damage, although a screening lieutenant is helping take down those Fallschirmjäger, and the airborne just barely managed to round the corner, and a Major just used fake smoke. I don't know if Mo-Larr was really buying it though. Doesn't look like it. Major is forced away by the Obersoldaten. They will be able to retake the cutoff, but the Oberkommando player's map situation is not good. His manpower situation is not much better. He's only got 5 squads right now, 2 of which are team weapons, so he has very little mobility and map presence, but he does have a Vet 2 Puma. He's going to need to use it pretty much perfectly to combat the Americans' continuous flood of medium armor. And I'm somewhat surprised to see Queen Ratchet continue purchasing Jacksons. Sherman is a pretty effective counter to Pumas. The Jackson certainly also effective. You have to use it slightly differently. But the Jackson, or the Sherman, once it's taken out the Puma, assuming it's successful, is still continues to be useful against machine guns, Obersoldaten, Volksgrenadiers, etc., which he's presumably going to want to have on like that.
Americans are making a push.
That being said, the Jackson is a better long-term investment. His opponent does have 125 fuels, coming in slowly, thanks to Queen Ratchet's good map control. But eventually, he probably will be purchasing a Panther. He's still 50 fuel away from that, but it's something to keep in mind. So amassing Jacksons beforehand is certainly a good safety measure, especially when your AT gun's been stolen. Obersoldaten get away by a hair. Meanwhile, nice flank over here on that machine gun forces it to retreat. Jackson moves up to take shots on the Schwer Panzer headquarters, but it takes a nasty shot from the AT gun. He's lucky that that Puma's not chasing right now, because he could easily destroy his Jackson. It's just overextended itself so hard. It looks like the American push for the cutoff didn't succeed on that front. There are still airborne harassing the munitions over here, along with major support. Fake smoke being, or no, a real artillery barrage being used. Well, that was a mistake. That's not going to do anything. I guess it did flush his opponent out of their cover. Force him to get a little closer. Wow, he just spent a ton of munitions on those 2 grenades. She dodged easily, so that definitely paid off to stick around and bait that munitions expenditure from his opponent, who's already really starved for munitions. Only has 18 coming in, and he just spent, what, 80? 45 on the bundle grenade, 30, so 75 on just grenades just to win that engagement. That being said, he used 120 of his own on that useless major barrage, so not sure he necessarily won that engagement. It's a shame Mo-Larr didn't utilize his Puma to punish Queen Ratchet for overextending his Jackson like that on the Schwer Panzer headquarters. He's just leaving it AFK. Which you probably don't want to be doing with a Puma, considering how highly mobile and effective it is. What are those Fallschirmjäger doing? Oh my gosh, he's gonna lose a Vet 4 Fallschirmjäger squad just to not paying any attention! What a waste! He could not afford that loss. He absolutely could not afford that loss. Suppression fire being utilized on these Volksgrenadiers, which are also waiting way too long to retreat. Meanwhile, over here on the right side, that AT gun is getting harassed by some American infantry. Is he just gonna let everything die? There goes that. The Jackson creeping up to take shots at the Puma as well. Volksgrenadiers are going to get away alive. Fortunately, there are Obersoldaten moving up over here on the left side to retake the cutoff and combat those paratroopers with their Vet 3. Vet 3 LMG paratroopers are definitely a match for Obersoldaten. Rifleman support also moving up. Major also moving up. Jackson is supporting some riflemen here on the right side, trying to grab the victory point with Lieutenant support. He's trying to recover his AT gun, but he's within range of the Schwer Panzer headquarters. Ooh, nice shot from the Jackson and AT gun combo, taking out that Puma. Very nice. Puma didn't quite have enough time to react, and it goes down. Meanwhile, the Obersoldaten force away some riflemen over here. The paratroopers are not supporting because he's trying to retake the victory point and apply as much pressure as possible. Only 140 points remain for the Oberkommando West player, and he's now down to just about nothing left. He's going to have a Panther very soon, though. So hopefully he'll be able to utilize that to come back from this situation he's in a little bit, although it's going to be hard. The Jackson and bazookas on the field. Airborne engaging some Fallschirmjäger over here. Jackson is about to take down the Schwer Panzer headquarters, which is something he really absolutely can't afford to lose, but he has no way to push it away, except for this lone Shrek squad. Fallschirmjäger forced to retreat by the airborne. He could purchase the Panther now. He really has to. He really needs to buy it right now.
Under attack!
Why isn't he purchasing it? He just called in Fallschirmjäger. What? Is he really saving for a King Tiger? I think he's saving for a King Tiger, which is not something he's really in a position to do, especially when he's throwing away squads willy-nilly. Ouch. Bundle grenade goes off over here. Doesn't really connect. Only 75 points remaining for the Oberkommando West player now, but the Fallschirmjäger are inflicting heavy losses on these infantry. They will be forced to retreat. Riflemen moving up to support. There's also a Sherman on the field. Jackson getting some repairs. Much needed repairs. The Fallschirmjäger will recover the bazooka dropped by those Volksgrenadiers. We also have Obersoldaten moving up here on the right to take the victory point, but the Sherman just got a nice opening burst on that Fallschirmjäger squad. Oh! Nice combination of shots right there, and the Oberkommando West player surrenders. Kind of was expecting him to be holding out for a tank attempt to make a comeback with Panther or something, but apparently he's just suffered way too many losses. He couldn't keep up with the American player's infantry, and he throws in the towel. Well played by both sides. I certainly enjoyed the game. I hope you did too. If so, you can always send me a replay of your own, and I'm happy to do a cast for you. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.